Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to the Plaid Sheep Oracle. Your initial cards are interesting because the deck didn't want to be shuffled, but just taken as it was, and the facing card taken, which is this unicorn. And what's interesting is that the visible underlying is this Nine of Swords. But I'm not seeing it in its usual Nine of Swords way, but the eyeball seeing the unicorn. I don't want to say that you're being called out of your comfort zone. I don't think I want to say out of your comfort zone, but out of your usual zone. You're being called into the unusual. You're being called to the unicorn, to the different. Maybe to the occult, it could be. But it could just be something that is unusual for you. Something that you hadn't considered before. Or something that, maybe it was just a flicker and is now really riveting your attention. Below this Nine of Swords is this otter who is, very playful. And then there's this Two of Cups. And it's not really coming through as a person, like a romantic love interest, but as something that you didn't know, maybe you didn't realize that this was your love. I'm thinking now, you're going, when you were a kid, you went through school, you had all of the usual subjects that get taught in school, and then something happens and you encounter something that you just hadn't experienced before. You're introduced to, orchid cultivation, or astronomy, which you didn't have as part of your regular science in high school, or you have an experience, maybe you travel and you have an experience somewhere and you decide you want to go and live in this other country because it just sets you alight. There is something, this unicorn is something that you simply have not expected. And it's showing up now. The bottom of the deck is the Mother of Pentacles. So you could be your energy, but it feels like something you're moving towards. And this is why I don't think that it's out of your comfort zone. I think that, in fact, maybe you've been out of your comfort zone this entire time. You've been doing something that is actually not for you, or that isn't for you anymore. And you're now being called home. Because the bottom of the next deck, well, actually the top, is this Nine of Water, which is the salmon returning to the grounds where she was spawned. And then the bottom of the deck is this Four of Fire, the Four of Wands, but in this particular card, very much about family, about home. There's this little house in the background with smoke rising from it. It looks like it would be, a lovely place, that there's a wonderful meal being cooked there, and people that you care about, all gathering. There's something about this that is a call to home, that you are being called home. And home in a way, in a place that you haven't been in this physical life. Under the Nine of Water is this Witch of Fire. And she's coming through now as kind of as cosmic forces, universal forces. That there may be something meant about this, or I don't use the word fated very often. I think that we have a lot of choices in life, but that we also show up here with intention. And that while we're ready to have lots of different experiences and things we didn't plan, that there is a direction that we're headed. And that you are now on it. Because we also have these little turtles. They're born on this beach, and they know that they need to get into the ocean. Right? It's the overriding thing. They break out of their shells and they head for the ocean. Then we have the maze. It may have felt this way. It may feel this way initially. You see this unicorn, and it may feel like a maze that you don't, it seems really new, something that you haven't done before, that maybe it's going to be confusing, or you're going to have a lot of false starts, and you're going to, get caught up in dead ends and things, so that maybe you're a little concerned. But with the goddess of air, I think you just need to get started. That the, kind of seeing it in this way, I mean, it's sort of interesting. I think this is the higher view. I almost want to say that when you just get started, that it's almost going to give you that just starting is going to allow you to be able to see the maze from above. And to sense changes that you need to make, like which way you need to go. That it's really just a matter of starting. Because then we have the craftsman of fire, getting down to it. Becoming engrossed in what it is. Both King of Fire, and then right below him is this 10 of Fire with the phoenix rising out of the flames. The 9 of Wands in this deck has the bird entering the flames. And then this 10 is the bird leaving. So you're past that initial phase. You are now in this rising out of the flames. The bottom of the deck is this 5 of Pentacles. And you can now see that this is not the reality. It's almost as if this was sort of shrouded in darkness. You couldn't quite see it. You couldn't see that this wasn't the reality. You've kind of been moving through life both with this 5 and then here with this 4. That's the first card. That you couldn't really see these as they really were. That it wasn't necessary. But now you've got this torch. You can see. You can see that this Five of Pentacles is not the truth, not the reality. And then again, initially, there's going to be a little bit of balancing required. There may be some emotional issues that you deal with. It could be that you get scared, you have some anxiety, you have some worry about this initially, patterns, habits of thought, and that, right, it's a little bit of a slow beginning. And then we have the Justice card. And, you know, this says reason. And I want to say that it's not so much about reason as it is about clarity and about alignment. Right, here you are, you're on your horse, you're going, and you've been kind of cautious. You've been a little slow going. The maze looks really complicated. You know now that reality is not necessarily what you thought. It might even be some spiritual concepts that are being overturned for you. Not everything that shows up in the spiritual field is necessarily the truth, or at least not the truth for you. So things, you know, things have to be seen anew. But that alignment, learning to know when you're in alignment by how you feel. Right, this is kind of this Mother of Pentacles here at the bottom, and this Nine of Water. The ability to feel and to know what you're feeling. I think Capricorn can sometimes, especially in our modern system, suppress those things. Just go, achieve. I have been in the last couple of days, for reasons that I don't quite know, I'm just following my nose, sort of gotten interested in watching some things about Mount Everest. And in particular, there was an ill-fated set of expeditions that went out in 1996. 8 people died during that little period. And I think they all died on the same day, actually, including the 2 expedition leaders, Rob Hall and Scott Fisher. And Rob Hall and Scott Fisher and Anatoly Bukharev, who was climbing, are all Capricorns, or have Capricorn sun. And an interesting thing about Anatoly, he has this Mars-Saturn conjunction in Sag, or had. He died the following year, in 97, in an avalanche on a different mountain. In Sagittarius. So there's this strong ability to move and to succeed, and to, you know, personal discipline, personal drive that he has with that combination. He summited a bunch of things without supplemental oxygen. He was doing that climb without oxygen. And that climb, asteroid Everest, opposed that Mars-Saturn conjunction. Challenge. So, you are really used to challenges. You really enjoy them. Challenges to your will, to your capabilities. But you may be less accustomed to being guided, by your feelings, like your sort of heart feelings, that Two of Cups that is calling to you. It's almost, you may know that I don't really like the terms feminine and masculine because I think they confuse the issue. But there is something, about this, right? When we talk about, right, we have women's intuition, but men follow their gut feelings, right? So there's something here about tuning into something that is more romantic, is more of a soft, loving feeling, of a kind of Cancer embrace, right? This full moon, we just had the full moon in Cancer, right? The call of the moon. There's actually a moon behind this unicorn too. So there's something here about learning to follow these more romantic, loving, gentle, joy-based, happiness-based impulses. And so then we have this much faster moving ship at the Six of Swords. You're going to start a little slowly, but when you can make that mental switch to, to trusting the waters, there is something happening. Both Sagittarius and Aquarius also had a lot in their readings about learning to trust the water, learning to be in the water. It may be because the North Node has moved into Pisces, being guided by your water. And then we have the unicorn reappearing. And I don't think the purity has really anything to do with it. We're just having a confirmation. And here you kind of are the unicorn. Here you've seen the unicorn. And are really, it's like the eyeball. The seams. I mean, I know, right? The eyeball doesn't have any eyelids. But it is currently looking really like it's staring at this unicorn. There's this sense of, what is that? I want that. It's so beautiful. And here, just kind of like, you're becoming the unicorn, because right below that we have transmutation and the phoenix reappearing. And the bottom of the deck is power. So, becoming the unicorn. And with this maple spirit, not actually generosity, but this, right, this visual of this tree with its red leaves. If you've been here for a little while, you know that for me, wearing red when a character in one of these cards is wearing red, that's a sign of moving from a place of passion, moving from a place of love and inspiration. And we do have that, right? First with the goddess of air in her red, and then right, the King of Wands in his red cloak, and this, here you are as the knight with a red tabard, You even got a little red flag going off of your ship here. And here you are as the tree, covered in red leaves. So there's a real strength to you still, Capricorn. This is not to say that you're suddenly, you know, going to need a fainting couch and, you know, that you're not going to remain, you know, somebody who considers achievement or who, you know, really enjoys follow through, who enjoys being the stable one, being the one that others rely on. But you're doing it, you know, in this fabulous fashion, covered in red. And here's the bear spirit with healing. And then transformation again, followed by magic and this full moon. So there's a couple of things happening here for you, Capricorn. One, you're seeing this beautiful thing. It's calling you home, even if you don't know it. The home of your soul, maybe even the home of your human self. You know, the person born in the Yukon who discovers that they have real skill in raising orchids from tropical places. Or the person born in a desert who becomes a marine biologist or a sailor. That there's something, you know, that your home isn't necessarily where you were born. And the kind of life and society and values that you were born with. And those just, it doesn't mean that those things were bad in any way. You could have had, you know, a really nice childhood. And that part of it was to prepare you for this moment, that you've had lots of experiences that are going to make this homecoming all the sweeter. So there's that. And then there's this newfound skill in navigating in the water, navigating through your feelings. Maybe discovering that you really know how other people in the room feel. Perhaps. When maybe you never really noticed that you could do that. Or it's, you know, something that has grown in you as you've matured. I don't think we're born with all of the skills. We may have a tendency and a talent, but I think that other things come online as we have experiences. And that this moonlight enchantment is now coming into your life. Page of materials. The student, the novice, and the visionary, you know, sort of visioning this. Maybe in a clearer way than you ever have. And it is the vision of a rose, of something romantic. You know, below that is this genie. The 9 of emotions, that 9 of water. And below that, the 10 of emotions. So this newfound romance in you, this newfound magic, is going to spread. Bottom of the deck is the Chariot. And it's, you know, it's sort of interesting because the Chariot is usually associated with Cancer. But here there's a very Capricorn feeling because we have this, you know, this rush of horses. We have this coming kind of from the solar plexus area of will, which is certainly a Capricorn word. So this combining of Cancer and Capricorn that may really be happening for you now after this Cancer full moon that we had. Two of Cups repeating. And right, this sense of something unexpected. You know, this person is reversed. So not the same, right? It's not a mirror image. It's something unexpected. Also with the Ace of Voices, a whole new way of thinking about things. A new idea. And then the Six of Voices, Six of Swords repeats. And this is my, you know, following soul and sources guidance. Right? It will get you over these swords. Following your intuition. Following your felt sense. And then Page of Inspiration. Right? This feels, you know, like the unicorn. There's all these colors. There's magic. There's unusualness. There's difference. There's guidance from above. Inspiration in a whole new way. And, you know, this, right, this butterfly card looks like Venus, you know, on the half shell. And yesterday, Venus made a conjunction to Saturn, who is your guiding planet. So this may be the, right, the energetic switch. Is this meeting up of Venus in her exalted space of Pisces in this watery realm, right? And Saturn has been in this watery realm for more than a year now, year and a half. So you have been learning these watery skills, even if you didn't know it necessarily. And now they are calling you home. Home to becoming the unicorn. Formal advice. First of all, the advice is coming from this combined Starseed Healing Waters Oracle. So that's already, you know, funky unicorn energy. Your life is a canvas. Artist, manifestation, creative accountability. Right? Approaching your life as art, as a work of art. And below that is Mother of the Salt Waters. Passion, wild love, open your heart, let love in. And actually I'm seeing now, I'm going to go one more. Loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. I don't think that you're going to have a lot of difficulty. I think that this, right, Saturn's movement through Pisces, and then all the time that you had with Pluto in your sign, Uranus having trined your sign for the last several years, there's been a lot of training in this unicorn energy for you. So if there's any little little sticking points, I think they're not a big deal. I think that your grip has loosened and that it may just take one last little release. The bottom is gentle force. Yeah? Consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. Oh, yeah. That's all you, Capricorn. And I think this is meant to be, right, it's meant to be a rock face, but to me it's looking like a face. Like this is a hood. And there's all this water inside. Right, like a magician or a hermit hood. That you're discovering all of your water, all of your magic that you didn't know you had. And that this is for the long haul. This is for the rest of your life. That you will have these skills. And they're going to get better and cooler and more amazing as you go. I don't know, I kind of want to see what was next to that. What was next to that? Oh, the Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. So if this home, this other cup that you're being called to, has been living in the unconscious, now it's becoming visible. You've seen it. So we have Cosmic Ocean. I really love the blue in this card. This whole image is beautiful. Current dreams, future realities, new beginnings. But then also, I remember. Soul plan, the fated life versus the destiny life. Being called home. And allow yourself to be called home, even if it seems really weird. Right? You're so attracted to it. It's weird and you're so attracted to it. And then a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. You're on the brink. You are here, Capricorns. You're headed into this wonderful new and yet what will probably feel really familiar space. You're going to know that you're home. You're going to know that you're home. Oh, it's exciting, Capricorn. I hope that you can really feel it and that you're looking forward to it. I wish you the very, very best, Capricorn, and I'll see you next time. So long.